Yeah, yeah, what up, what up, what up? Live from San Diego Zoo. San Diego Zoo is 4,000. There's 4,000 animals. Today you're gonna see that, guys. And here's Tijani, my sweetheart, and my sweet, beautiful kid here. Guys, say hey, Facebook. Yeah. So we are waiting the train, getting to the train, and it's a big zoo, a really big zoo, and thousands people in there. If you see move of the people going around, they're going to the sky zoom to ride it. We're on the line, waiting, moving step by step. And with my family in front of me, there was the lion put his family in the front, and they protect his family. That's the lion here at the zoo. So I'm the lion, protect my family. What up, guys? What up, what up, what up, guys?
What's happening, Bob?
Hey! So just be patient. You're gonna see a lot of animals, 4,000 animals. I don't know if I can see them all, and you guys watching them all. That's the train. Going on that right now. Take it. Yep.
Okay, move. I'm gonna sit in.
Hey, no, he's right there. Hey, we're sitting now.
Do you see the low?
Yeah, because they are sitting there. Saw, come here, November. November. One of them.
Come here.
Come here.
Come.
Come here.
Go sit in the corner. So they're like 8 and 9 years old. They don't understand.
Huh? Come here in the corner. Okay, she don't want to come. Alright, just come. Yeah. Yeah. So be patient. We are on the train up top. So ready to take a ride. You happy?
I didn't even bring my hat home.
You want to say something? Say something? Say something? Talk.
I'm eating the lollipop.
You want to say something different?
We're going to get eaten
All
by
right, well, good
fire.
morning, everyone. You guys ready to head out and see the zoo? Awesome.
Alright,
You
moving.
guys have some fun. Well, welcome aboard the guided tour here at the world famous San Diego Zoo, everyone. My name is Keith, and I am going to be your guide today. And you and I are going to be together for about the next 35 to 40 minutes.
35
And
to
during
40
today's
minutes,
tour, I'm
guys.
going to give you a good overview of the zoo. We'll cover almost 70%. And along the way, I'll be talking about many of the animals that we encounter. But I'm also going to be talking about the work that we do here. Because first and foremost, we are a non-profit conservation organization. And we're leading the fight against extinction. We do that not only here at the zoo, guys, but we're doing it all over the world. Right now, we've got people in 80 different countries, and we're involved in 140 conservation and research projects. And I'll be telling you about a couple of those during our tour today. Now, wildlife is endangered all over the world. Number one reason is due to habitat loss and fragmentation. It's caused by us, so we do have a moral imperative to help. Now, if you look up to the front of the bus, there's a part of the zoo that we won't be going into. There's no bus road in there, but that is called Discovery Outpost. It's where you're going to find the children's, no, not the children's zoo.
They're beautiful.
You'll find the reptile house. You'll find Weatherford Bowl and the East Terminal for Skyfari. And Skyfari is our aerial tram. We're going to pass the other end of that a little bit later in our tour, and I'll tell you more about it.
Going down, down,
Over there,
down.
the reptiles, that's where you're going to find our Galapagos tortoises. And those are the oldest residents here at the zoo. Some of those tortoises have been here since 1928. One is over 140 years old.
Wow.
Okay, we're going to go down this big steep hill, and all along the right-hand side of the bus is the Lost Forest. And before we go much further, I just want to go over some safety real quick. During the tour today, please keep all body parts and personal belongings inside the bus. That includes arms, legs, heads, butts, cell phones, cameras, water bottles, and anything else I have not thought of. We just want you to get around the zoo today as safely as possible. Now, I'm going to be making a couple of stops along the way as well. And when I do, you guys are welcome to stand up and move around. I just have one request, and that is that you keep both your feet firmly on the floor. Well, one of the things that brought me to the San Diego Zoo is the opportunity to talk to people every day about animal conservation. I relocated here from Hawaii. I'm a longtime resident there, spent a lot of time in the water as a surfer and a diver, and I realized how fragile the ecosystems are and what's happening to wildlife. So during today's tour, I'm going to be giving you guys some ideas about things you might incorporate into your lives every day that can make a positive difference towards wildlife. Okay, this little trail over here is called Tiger Trail on our right. That probably gives away what we're going to be looking for. Oh, you guys, we have an amazing view of one of our tigers up there. I'm going to pull the bus up here. Now that tiger is walking around behind that tree up at the top of the enclosure there.
Here is the tigers, and the people around.
And they're all related.
As you see, oh man.
We'll stay here for a moment.
I don't see the tigers, but
tigers walking around back there.
But the place for them is here.
She was a rescue from over in Malaysia. And she was rescued to the habitat.
And this, they brought it from Malaysia, tigers.
That their habitat, their area they roam through, it gets separated.
Like I said, thousands of people.
And they have difficulty finding one another.
It is hiding.
Now, the really good thing about Matt coming to live here at the zoo is not only did we save her life, but she became part of
Sit down.
survival. Oh, there he, okay, I was going to stay here for a second because there he is.
Yep, yeah, the tiger, guys.
Now, what the species survival plan is.
Okay, that's the tiger.
So, amongst members of the AZA, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, of which we're part, when we're breeding endangered animals like Malayan tigers, we're looking for good genetic matches. And that's important because strong, healthy, genetically diverse animals are better adapted to change. And of course, we all know that the world is changing pretty quickly for animals. Okay, we do have a lot more to see, so we are going to be moving here. So
That's why.
Really
That's why we are here for, guys, to show you what's going in the wall. Touch. That's why we are here to show people, right? Yeah.
Now this whole part of the zoo, the Lost Forest, is
We'll pay whatever it takes and let you see everything we see, guys.
And as we go around the next turn in the road, we're going to be looking for one of the most dangerous animals in the world. And you might be surprised, it's the hippo. And today we're going to be looking for our female hippo, Funami, and her calf, Tony. He's about a year and a half old.
I see a hippo, yes.
1,000 pounds. So
the hippo is 1,000.
They spend about
Look, the hippo in
today in the
there.
water, so it's often difficult to spot them from above. So when folks are walking along Hippo Trail, which is this pathway here to our right, you'll be able to view the hippos in the water. And if you guys look right below that catwalk, I can see through the glass wall. I can see through non-neon Capitones just below the surface. They look like big brown boulders. Go very slowly by. Give everyone a chance to grab a look there.
It's
Now,
down
you may
there
notice that
inside
they
the
don't
water.
swim.
You see.
Hippos actually walk along the bottom of the water there. And one of the reasons they're so dangerous, guys, is because hippos are territorial.
The little
And
ones?
in spite of their size, they can move really fast.
Mommy,
Himalaya, they can run up to
Daddy,
30
the little one?
miles an hour. That's much faster
Mommy, the
than I
little
can
one?
tell you that. And if you ever see their jaws open, they can open their jaw up to 150 degrees. So that's an extremely powerful bite that they have.
That's
Well,
our
if you Spend a little
hippo.
time in this part of the zoo. You'll be able to come and see those hippos and the tigers up there in Tiger Channel. Now, during today's tour, I'm going to be talking a lot about animal welfare, and San Diego Zoo is redefining what that even means. The animals here are well-fed and healthy, but we go further than that, and we're also concerned with the animals' emotional and mental well-being. And there is a couple of ways that we promote that. One is through exhibit design. We are world famous for creating these naturalistic environments for each of the species. And we also provide enrichment. Enrichment can take many different forms. They can be structural things like these climbing structures, you see to your right, in a monkey exhibit. Sometimes it's special food items or even toys. And enrichment. Enrichment engages the animals and helps them express the same kind of behaviors that they would express out in the wild. And it provides mental stimulation.
Sup,
Okay, we're going to take a left here at this intersection, but real quick, we're at the very bottom of the zoo. You may not realize it, but our zoo is built out of a canyon. And if you look to your right, you'll see a roadway as we go around the corner. That road goes all the way through the bottom of the zoo. At the other end there, we'll find Africa Rock. In fact, we're going to be popping over that way a little bit later in our tour.
Asian cat.
Some of the things you'll find down in that canyon include our Asian Passage, where you'll find takins and lesser pandas, or also known as red pandas. You'll find our Asian cats in there. We have some snow leopards and a moor leopard. Up above us on the right here, this trailway that you see above the bus, that is our Eagle Trail. You'll find a lot of birds of prey up there. And on the left-hand side, there are some more birds, but these are part of our African marsh exhibit. I see some giant white pelicans in there, and those blackbirds you see are cormorants. Now, on the left-hand side of the bus, you're going to see a yellow sign shaped like a kangaroo. This one's got a number 2 on it. I want to tell you about it. That's marking one of our Kangaroo Express bus stops. And we have about 100 acres here, and you've already seen a lot of hills. So to help you guys get around, saying a lot of walking up and down hills, that bus is our transportation for you. It makes 4 stops around the zoo where you guys can hop on and hop off. And that's why we call it the Kangaroo Bus. And it's not an express over to the kangaroos like a lot of people think. I'm going to do my best to point them all out for you as we go around the zoo today, but they are on your maps. If you look up the map on that you hopefully picked up when you entered the zoo today, you'll find little yellow kangaroo icons indicating each of those stops. Also on your maps on the back, you're going to find a lot of great information about fun things happening around here today. We've got all sorts of special events. We have animal talks and animal encounter shows. They are complimentary. They're all listed on the back of your maps for both location and time and the subject matter. So feel free to attend any or all of them. I think you'll really get a lot out of them. Now the roadway you see on your left, that's Route 163 that runs right here through Balboa Park. And that road takes you up to our sister park in Escondido. It's about 30 miles north. It's called the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. And that's an 1,800-acre animal sanctuary. So they're much larger than we are. And they have breeding herds of animals running around and playing up there. So it's very much like an African safari
you're looking for.
when you visit.
The one
And right next door to it is the San Diego Zoo's Institute for Conservation Research. Now that's the organization that does the coordination and all the science behind the conservation work we're doing around the world.
Oh.
And we are a science-based
See those?
conservation organization.
I mean, not bananas.
Yeah.
Monkeys?
On the right-hand side, you'll find a
Uh-huh.
couple of species of African
Look at the
gazelle.
gazelle, African
we have
gazelle.
some lesser kudos and sphinx gazelles in there.
Those are African
We're
gazelle.
going to start focusing on the left-hand side
Daddy,
of
the
us.
monkeys
This is
are
the beginning
doing
of our
this.
northern frontier.
Yes.
This is where we find animals like reindeer and Arctic
That's
fox.
how they showed
But I think most of us are most excited to see polar bears.
Right,
And
that's how
I'm going to tuck
monkeys
in
show
here
the
on the
river
left.
right there.
And I see one of our polar bears over in the distance there on the far shore. And I'll
Guys, that is
pull in here
African
and see if we
gazelles.
can spot another polar bear too. We'll talk about them for a moment. And sometimes we have them over here in the front. I'm not spotting them over here. But we do have three, and they're all here because out in the wild, these bears are horses. The largest population
They're hiding, it's not them.
came to live here. So they were raised right here in San Diego. And, you know, out in the wild, they're facing a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
challenges. The biggest challenge
hiding in
is
the corner.
the loss of ice up in the Arctic region. And I think we're all aware that climate change is affecting weather around the globe and has an impact on all sorts of wildlife as well as us. So things that you can do to help those polar bears every day, some really simple things at home. You can compost. You can change your light bulbs to compact fluorescents. You can go meet
That's
them
what's
one day
up.
a week.
Blood
Help
animals.
minimize your carbon footprint. And you might also think about taking public transportation, carpooling, or walking to work a couple days a week. All those things help. Okay, we're going to keep moving on here because I guess they're not going to be making an appearance over this side. We never predict where the animals are going to be in their exhibit because they do have free roam, and wherever they're most comfortable and feel safest, we want them to be. So I have a kind of a funny story about our polar bears. Our polar bears don't like cold water. The keepers keep that water above 55 degrees at all times, usually between 55 and 65. They found if it goes below 55, our bears
Deers.
will not go into it. It's too cold for them.
Up here is deer.
So those are about the chillest San Diego polar bears you'll ever find.
Gazelle.
Now, if we keep our eyes peeled on the left, a lot of times I take a
Deers.
view of the polar bears through the fence line here. This is the other part of their enclosure that they often hang out in. But I did not spot one. Now, as we come up to the top of the hill, we're going to see the west terminal for Skyfari. So this is the other end of the Sky
Sky
Trail
Zone.
that I pointed out in the beginning of our tour. Now the east terminal is in
Next,
Discovery
we're going
Outpost
to the
section right near
Sky.
these, reptiles. And you all can ride that as often as you like today. It is included with your tickets. And it's about a 4-minute
Coming
ride
back for that.
across the zoo.
Sky.
And it's pretty cool because you get a nice aerial view of
Yep.
San Diego Zoo.
And
You also
come
get some
the
views
next
downtown.
ride for us going to the sky.
On the right-hand side
Sorry.
is our 4D theater. Yeah, we do have a 4D theater. It plays an immersive 4D experience, and it's featuring the movie Smallfoot at the moment.
And there's movies.
And up ahead on the left, in a moment, you're going to see another yellow sign marking one of our kangaroo bus stops. This will be stop number 3.
This is the movies.
Now, on the right-hand side is an animal we don't see very often during the day, but we sure do smell it. And usually when you're over here, you start smelling a very pungent,
I
skunky
know.
aroma. And it comes from the maned wolf that lives in that enclosure. And on the sign towards the front of the bus on the right, you'll see a picture of that maned wolf. It looks like a fox on stilts. And the odor that you usually smell around here is coming from them. They are scent markers, and they're marking their territory. Okay, we're going to go on to the next part of the zoo. And this is a really fascinating part of our zoo. It's called Elephant Odyssey. And the reason it's so fascinating is because it's a living museum. And the animals that we find over here, guys, are a living representation of animals that you would have found right here in Southern California 12,000 years ago. That was around the end of the last ice age. So animals that used to roam around here would have been things like Columbian mammoths, giant ground sloths, and American lions. And if you look on the left here, you're going to see these little brown guys on the shelves and branches. Those little guys are hyrax. Now, any idea what they're related to? Their closest genetic relative?
Hyrax in there.
Yeah. You might be surprised, it's the elephant. Yeah, it's their closest genetic relative. They have these long front teeth that are very similar to an elephant's tusk. And on their feet are structured very similar to an elephant. It's a hyrax. Oh, there she is. Okay, I didn't see her till just now, but on the rock here to the right, that is Etosha, and she is our female African lion. She's 15 years old.
Oh, she's in
She
here.
was born down in South
15
Africa, and she was raised in the safari park I told you about up in Escondido. But she's been here since 2009, and also part of the urban. And keep your eyes open here on the right. We're looking for an American cat. Very difficult to spot if it's out. And it's a jaguar. I am not smart. If you guys see a jaguar, give me a big shout. Okay, you see the jaguar? Oh, right there on the ground. Okay, I was concentrating on the red. If you look at the grass on the ground right there, that is deer. She is
This American jaguar.
Now, this is a cat that's found right here in the Americas. Today they're found around Central and South America. And I know they look a lot like leopards, right? Well, leopards are animals that are found in Asia and Africa. And there is a good way to tell the difference between them. And if you look at the rosettes on Nundiri there on the ground, in the center of those rosettes you'll see a black spot or three. And those spots do not exist on jaguars. Excuse me, on leopards. And that is an extremely dangerous animal, guys. I know it sounds obvious, but it's one of the most dangerous animals we have at the zoo. It's incredibly feisty, it's an amazing hunter, and they're very, very powerful. Their bite is equivalent to that of a crocodile. Now up ahead I can see two of our elephants over near the Elephant Care Center. So I kind of move on up that way and we'll spend a moment talking about elephants. Now the elephant that we see closest to us, that is Kembo. And Kembo is one of our African elephants. The elephant on the other side of her is one of our Asian elephants, but I cannot get a good look of her, so I don't know if that's Debbie or Mary. But these are two different species of elephants that you're looking at. And when you're walking through this part of the zoo, if you're ever wondering what species it is, if it's an African or an Asian elephant, all you need to do is look at their ears. And the African elephants have much larger ears than their Indian cousins. So you can impress people with that little bit of knowledge. Now, on the right-hand side, you might notice this tree. It's surrounded by this log fence. Well, that's a new tree. It just went in a couple months ago. It's the first time we have a tree in the elephant enclosure. And log fence is to protect it. Because if those elephants could get to that tree, they would knock it down and eat it. And they could. They're extremely strong, and they have voracious appetites. And they eat everything. Trees, plants, you name it. And that appetite of theirs is part of the problems that they face out in the wild. It's just one of the many issues that they face. And what it is they travel in herds, and they devour everything in the landscape when they move through it. So they're very destructive. They get into a lot of conflict with people, especially farmers. And so one of the organizations that we work with down in southern Africa, it's called Elephants Without Borders. And we track the migration of those elephants using GPS tracking devices. And we use that information to provide safe passage zones for the elephants to prevent them getting into conflict with those farmers. Okay, I'm going to pull over here on the right-hand side, and we're going to let one of our kangaroo buses pass us here. And we'll continue on Pleasant Clears. Now you may notice on the other side of the Elephant Care Center, there's a couple more elephants. and we'll move up and see if we can get a good look to see what's going on up there.
Remember that? What's that password for the people? It's a kangaroo.
Okay, I see both of our other elephants over here. Let's see if we can identify who they are.
That's the elephants.
Okay, this one towards, right in front of us. This is Mary. Mary is our other Asian elephant, and she's the oldest elephant we have, 54. The one behind her there, coming over this way, that's Shaba, and she is our other African elephant. So look at her ears, guys. See the difference in the size of their ears? Now, Mary is not only the oldest elephant we have here, but she's also the matriarch. She's
that one, the African one, is the
the herds are run by the female.
No, man.
And she is in charge of our herd.
So this one Asian one, that one African one.
And you may not have noticed that I've been using the pronoun she and her. That is because they're all girls. We don't have any male elephants here in this group. Real quick, this is Stella here on the right, on the ground. She's standing tall on her neck. She's pretty flamboyant. Look at those eyes. All that yellow orange eyeshadow she's got. Well, Stella is a secretary bird from Africa, and she spends a lot of time on the ground hunting. She can chase down small prey with those long legs. They're really powerful, and she eats things like rodents and snakes.
This one's so expensive. Yeah.
Have as a pet or?
Huh?
Now, you may have
Yes,
noticed a lot
so
of really
expensive.
unusual
You
things
have
in
in
this
it,
elephant
you get
enclosure
$1,000.
as we're going through. Like that
Yeah.
green capsule shape between those two
And
You guys do they
logs.
capture them?
You see all sorts
Say
of
again?
barrels,
They capture them?
balls,
Yeah, they
trees,
capture them.
sell them?
Yeah,
gathered around.
because
Those
they
things
see
are
from
part of the
1,000
elephant's
miles.
enrichment. They're
At
puzzle
the tree,
pieces.
they see
And
you
they're
if you
designed
go
to
into the
engage the
net.
elephant's critical thinking.
Yes.
Keeps them stimulated and mentally alert.
And they come
our keepers
hit you
fulfill
down,
those with all
knock you
sorts of
down.
food and tasty treats that the
fast?
elephant really
Yes,
wants to
very
get
fast.
to.
It's like
And they have to solve those puzzles in order to get the food. And every one of them is different. The keepers here at the zoo for all of our animals are constantly developing
those
new
are
forms of enrichment.
Saudi
We're
Arabia
calling it
people.
enriching
They
experiences.
hunting with them. They train them, and they go to the Sahara because the biggest snake they have gold. They lifetime they put it out.
Now, up ahead on the
Like
right-hand
for
side,
them,
I
they
see
wanna
one of our
eat
camels
some
back under that
insect come,
shed roof.
and they hunt
in
with
front of
that.
the
They
bus
let
to the
him
right.
to take that gold
The
from
camels that we have here,
movies,
these are
stuff like that. They
dromedary
coming
camels.
out. They take it and fly, bring it to the owner.
And dromedary camels only have one hoof. The
Camel.
other species of camels are the two hoofs, is known as a backtrain camel. Now, I have another conservation story that I'd like to tell you guys about, and this one's happening right here in our backyard, Southern California, and it involves California condors. And as we come around the bend in the road here, you're going to see these large black birds with red heads. They're both up in this tree, one's about halfway up, the other is on the top.
Oh,
And the reason we're involved with California condors is because they
Those
almost went
ones.
extinct.
if you saw them
Now,
out loud in one place,
Back in
it is a fight.
1983, there was only 22
something
California
dies.
condors left
They
in the
eat
world.
meat
So
forever.
we jumped into action and we rounded those birds up and we brought them to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park where they would be staying.
Vultures.
Now over the years we've been doing a lot of research and also breeding California condors. And I'm happy to tell you that today there's over 488 due to our conservation initiative. And the really exciting part is more than half of those are back in the wild where they are thriving. So we have reintroduced California condors back to their natural habitat. So we're going to keep moving here.
They-
Now on the right hand side is another one of our kangaroo bus stops. So you know that conservation success story, it's not only a beautiful story, but you guys are part of it. Because remember, being a non-profit conservation organization, the work that we do is only possible from support of people like you coming to the zoo, and also for those of you who are members, you support the conservation work we're doing around the world, as well as the care of the animals here in our charge at the San Diego Zoo. So thank you so much. Now, how many people on the bus know that we are a botanical garden? Yeah, most people don't realize that. We are a botanical garden. We have over 700,000 plants here at the zoo. And,
700,000 plants
they have a purpose.
at the zoo and
They're not just
4,000
a lot
animals
of them are food for animals.
at this zoo in
And we
Diego,
also have
California
a lot
Zoo.
of plants that are part of our conservation work. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. Now, on the right-hand side, this whole part of the zoo is our newest exhibit. It's called Africa Rocks. And it's about 6 acres. And in the 6 acres, you guys are going to find 6 habitats.
Thank you,
representing
Ahmed.
the biodiversity of Africa. And Africa is huge. I don't think people realize how big Africa actually is. Within its borders, you could fit the United States, China, Russia, a good part of Europe, and several other countries. So it's an incredibly large continent. And it's extremely diverse. Everything from deserts to rainforests are located there. So we have 6 habitats here. And on the right-hand side, we're looking out over one called the Ethiopian Highlands. And in Ethiopia, that's where you're going to find Hamadryas baboons. And I do have a secret for you guys. We have 2 baby baboons in there. One is about 2 months old. The other was born yesterday. So keep your eyes open for baby animals when you go around the zoo now. Now, I intentionally call these habitats because you're going to find not only the animals from each of those 6 regions, but you're going to find the plants as well. So, as you can see here
Look
on
at
the
that,
right,
sir.
you can see some
Hi.
very unusual and interesting plants.
Look out there.
And some of these plant species you find, not only in Africa Rocks, but around the zoo, they're incredibly rare. And some of them don't even exist in the wild anymore. It's just another example of how we lead the fight against extinction. Now the building to our right with the red roof, that is our Australian Outback Interpretive Center. It's here in the urban jungle. And this roadway to our right leads into the urban jungle. Now that red bus is one of our Kangaroo Express buses, stopped at stop number 1. Also in the urban jungle, that is where you're going to find our giraffe. And that's where you're going to find more babies. We have 2 baby giraffes down there. Our male turns 8 weeks old today, and our female is 5 weeks old. So we'll talk more about some of the baby animals you'll find around the zoo. Keep moving around. Now real quick, if you notice on the left-hand side of the bus, these benches are made from recycled plastic. Now remember in the beginning of the tour I told you guys I'm an ocean enthusiast. And right now our oceans are in crisis.
What?
And it's due largely to
yeah.
plastic, to ocean trash. And if we don't do anything pretty quick, by the year 2050, which is not far away, and stop that there's going to be more plastic in our ocean than there are fish. That's pretty mind-boggling. So I do have 3 rolls of plastic that I'd like to share with you guys, and they're things that you can do every day. The first is reduce. We all need to reduce our use of plastics, particularly single-use plastic. Things you can do are refuse straws at restaurants, plastic utensils with to-go orders, and carry reusable water bottles. Oh, you guys, we're out there for something really exciting here on the right. If you look towards the front of the bus along the wall there, that is one of our snow leopards. She's got some enrichment. Now that enrichment is that bone that's hanging from the road. I'm going to go very slowly by because I want a chance to see.
It's a cat, but I don't see. You see it? Oh, yes. Yes, it's there. They're eating. Yeah.
So it's not just a treat for the snow leopard, it has a purpose for enrichment, expressing the behaviors, hunting, that they would express out in the wild.
Yes, the cat eat the meat.
Opportunity for you to see that in action. Right, the second rule of plastics, real quick, going back to that, is we need to reuse plastics. Let's get as much life out of the plastics that are in the footprint. Here at the zoo, we support that initiative by purchasing recycled plastic benches. And then, of course, I'm sure you're all familiar with the third rule. What do you think that is? recycle. Yeah, we need to recycle plastic. Today we only recycle about 9% of all plastic. On the right hand side, you're going to see the bears. Like towards the halfway back.
Oh, they're
of the
sleeping
wall,
there.
on the left hand side of the enclosure. That is Scout Montana.
Yeah, they're sleeping down there.
So this is a North American bear.
Bears.
And you know how they get their name? Look at their coat. And you might notice a variation in color.
They're sleeping down there.
Dark brown. It gives those bears a grizzled skin. And that's how they get their name usually down. Now these boys are here because of their mom. And when they were young cubs, she was teaching them to raid garbage in communities up near Yellowstone. That's extremely dangerous when an animal becomes dependent on people for food.
San Diego, California Zoo.
Like a grizzly in their yard.
4,000
Up
animals.
there contacted us and we gave these boys a safe home here at the zoo. Now keep your eyes open for small black bears in this enclosure. It's a two-sided enclosure. And we're looking for Indian bears. And I see one in the back there.
Bear.
Its nest, on the left-hand side of that cave back there. And I see him leading his head back. Now the Indian bear is from South America. They live in the Indian Mountains around Peru. And it's the only bear species that can be found in the Southern Hemisphere. And you probably notice how elaborate their climbing structures are. Well, that's part of their enrichment. These bears are tree climbers, and they nest in the trees. And that climbing structure is part of their enrichment. Okay, we're going to zip on down the rest of Center Street. Now, all along the left-hand side of the bus is the other side of the Lost Forest. And this part of it here is called Fern Canyon. And Fern Canyon is one of the oldest intact sections of our zoo. It dates back to the 1930s.
Wow.
And the funding for its construction was obtained in part from funds of the WPA during the Depression. That large green structure you see is Owens Aviary. And it's one of the largest walk-through aviaries in the world. So you guys might enjoy walking through there today with the birds. And up on the ridge beyond it is Monkey Trails. It's home to a lot of our rainforest-dwelling primates, including things like gorillas from Africa and orangutans from
My
Borneo.
family enjoy. I hope you enjoy, guys, too.
All right, just up ahead is another intersection, and we're going to hang a right to continue our tour. We're going to go up the backside of Africa Rock. Now, at the beginning of the tour, I told you that we're going to be on the other end of the canyon, where we are. That green structure there, that's Bashor Bridge. It connects Monkey Trails in the Lost Forest with Elephant Odyssey. That tower on the left-hand side of the bridge is an elevator shaft, so you can ride the elevator up to the top of the zoo. It's another handy way to get across. Now the restaurant to your left here, that's Wame Cafe. It was named after the very first giant panda born here at the San Diego Zoo back in the 1980s. She went on to have 7 cubs here at the zoo. Now, of course, our giant pandas were repatriated a couple months ago back to China. Our breeding loan program had expired. But we're going to leave the Panda Canyon unchanged in hopes that they'll be back in the near future. Now, on the left-hand side is another one of the African rock habitats. This one's called Cape Finbos. Cape Finbos is in South Africa. And these little guys you see are African penguins. And we have 2 baby African penguins here at the zoo right now. Their names are Doug and Barbara. Probably getting a clue that it's a breeding colony. Now, out in the wild, they're facing a lot of challenges, and their population has plummeted by 60% just for the last 30 years. So breeding them here at the zoo is important in ensuring that they don't go extinct. And we're working with them down in South Africa. And up at the front of the zoo, our friends from the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Conservancy have a kiosk. It's right across from the exit. I invite you to visit them. You can wear some VR goggles and check them out in their natural habitat. And they'll tell you about the conservation work we're doing on their behalf. Just another one of the conservation initiatives we've got going on around the world. That waterfall is 65 feet tall. It's called Ragey Falls. You guys can walk behind it. kind of cool thing to do on a warm day
65
like today.
feet
And
tall.
it's part of our Madagascar.
The waterfall.
Some of the animals you'll find here in Madagascar will be our lemurs and our frolic. And up ahead is our acacia woodland habitat. And that's where you'll find animals like vervet monkeys. We have some gelada baboons in there, as well as leopards. And we have a pretty
Monkey.
special leopard here too that you want to keep your eyes open for when you walk through Ascaron. Her name is Mystique, and Mystique is a melanistic leopard. And it is not a species of leopard, it is a genetic trait. And it makes her appear all black. And that genetic trait can exist